Welcome back. In this video, we are going to see what is synchronization. The previous videos we have seen how we can create multiple threads. So when we create multiple threads, obviously what happened? There will be a competition between these threads. So think that you have created five threads. So all these five threads will compete each other for the uh, system resources. So this situation we call it as race condition. So let us see how this can be overcome. So let me repeat, when we create two or more threads, so we need some way to ensure that resources will be allocated or used by one thread at a time. So the process by which we achieve this, we call it as synchronization. Let me repeat, when we create multiple threads, we have to make sure that by some means we should make sure that only one thread uses or occupy the resource at a time. So this is achieved by a technique called synchronization. So let me repeat, resources will be used by only one thread at a time. So how this we can achieve? To achieve this, we use a key point, a key concept called monitor, and this is also known as semaphores. So monitor is something like a mutually exclusive lock, or we call it as mutex. So what happened is only one thread can on a monitor at a given time. So whichever the thread which ons the monitor, which gets executed, and rest all has to wait. So let me repeat: the thread which acquires a lock for the monitor have entered the monitor and which can continue with its process. All other threads which attempts to enter the lock or the lock monitor will be suspended until the first thread exit the monitor. So whoever is having a catch hold, whoever is having control or the key for the monitor have or they can go ahead with its process. Rest all thread has to wait for it. Now let us see how we can achieve this. So there are two ways by which we can achieve the synchronization. One is we can make use of synchronized method. So please remember, so we can make use of synchronized method. So let us see how we can use this synchronous method. Before that, let us see a program without any synchronized method. Let us see what output this is going to create and how we can overcome this. Okay, so let us see the class. We can see two classes. One is call me, other one is caller. So the caller class implement the runnable interface. So where I've created an object of the class called target, and there is a object of the class thread. So this is what the caller, the constructor for this, and this is what call. There is a method called call, so which is going to print a message. So this is about the first two class. Now let us see the main class where you can find the main method. So this is another class called sync, where you can find the main method. So you have created an object of the class call me inside this, and the object name is target, and which is going to invoke the constructor in the call me. So this is what the call me, right? Now, so we have created three more objects. One is ob1, ob2, ob3, and look at this. We pass the other class object as parameter, and which is going to pass one more parameter as no one more string as parameter, which is hello, synchronized, and world. So we have created three objects. Now what happened? We are going to call the join method, op1.t.join, op2.t.join, op3.t.join. So what happened? This is going to call the join method. Let us see, this calls the join method, and join in call in turn, which is going to call the call method. See, so this is a call method. So what happened? So we have run method. Run method calls the call method. Inside the call method, we are going to print the message. Now what happened? There is no guarantee which thread gets the CPU time. So they'll be competing each other. Finally, what output I'll be getting? I'll be getting an output in the random fashion. Actually, I was expecting an output called hello in the square bracket, synchronize in the square bracket, and world in the square bracket. So instead of that, I got output which is very weird. Why? Because there is something called race. All these threads, they were competing each other for the CPU time. So what we can do is we have to serialize the access to the method called call. So this is our call method. So we should see that only one object can access or call this call method. This we call it as serialize the access to the call method. We have to serialize. That means you must restrict it access to only one thread at a time. So what we can do is, to do this, we have to simply proceed calls definition with a keyword called synchronize. So what we are going to do is we are going to make a small change. We are going to make a small change in the call method. So before it was void call, now I'm going to make the method call as synchronized. That means thread, only one thread can access this at a time. So this is one way. There is another way. We can have a synchronized statement. Why? Because there'll be cases where the class does not use synchronized method, or there'll be cases where the class might have created somebody else and you have no access to that. So in that case, you cannot add synchronized method to every method wherever you want. So the solution is we can have synchronous statement. So what you can do is you have to put call to method defined by this class inside a synchronized block. So what I am going to do is, whenever I feel that a particular method should be used by one thread at a time, what I do is I'll make call to those method in a synchronized block. So this is what the actual way I should call the call method. Look at this. So instead the run method I have a call to call method. So before this I have made it as synchronized target, and where I made a call to the method called call. That means I cannot go inside the class and I cannot make the call definition as synchronized. Instead of doing it, I have seen a solution where I've found a synchronized block. Inside the synchronized block, I'm going to make a call to the method that should be synchronized.